Hello guys, this is Julia from Just One More Card, and today I have a fun video for you showing you how you can build a scene throughout masking. I had done a similar card before and you guys told me that you wanted to see more of that, so here we go. First of all, you also asked me how I store my stamps from Purple Onion Designs because they're unmounted red rubber stamps when they come to you. So I have these storage sleeves, they're just regular storage sleeves, and you can see that they're in there. So here's the sleeve. Let's look at this. Then I have a piece of paper onto which I stamp the stamps which are stored in that sleeve. I have a piece of cardstock in the middle that's just for like stability. That's just a plain piece of cardstock. And then I have my stamps mounted on some acetate. And these red rubber stamps, I have mounted them on easy foam. That's the gray stuff. It's sticky on one side, so that sticks to the red part here, and then the other part sticks to the acrylic block. The newer stamps, I'm just using some adhesive here to adhere it to the sheet, and it doesn't stick to the to a regular acrylic block, but it sticks to the tack and peel. That is the stuff that I have mounted permanently on my acrylic block here. It's a thing that's adhesive on both sides. One of the sides goes onto your acrylic block and it stays there permanently, and the other adhesive side is where you put your red rubber stamps on. So there's nothing else on those red rubber stamps. It's just the stamp, and it clings to that tack and peel. So I basically sacrificed one acrylic block for the tack and peel that is permanently adhered to that, and it's a great solution. I really like it. Now for the scene that I'm creating here, I'm stamping the images first, which will be in front. Then I'm putting masks on them. Masks are when you just cut it out of paper and then you put it on top of the stamped image, and then you stamp whatever goes into the background. And because of the mask, you're not stamping through the image that you have just stamped. You're basically creating the illusion that there's something behind it. And you can see when I peel off these masks now, the images that I stamped first are up front and the other images are partially obscured by it. And that's how you can create the illusion of depth already with just the stamping. Now I'm using some linen paper here. I just use this because of the texture, and it's also Copic friendly. That means that the Copic marker can be easily blended on it. And what I'm doing here is I'm just adding a first layer of color. I'm not worried about blending everything out perfectly. I'm not worried about the shading too much. I'm just putting down the first base color basically. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know that I will go back in and add details with my pencils. So I can be quite relaxed and just use very simple coloring here on the florals. You can see I'm not even blending anything here. I'm just tracing the lines quite easily to do this. Then I wanted the petals of the flowers to appear white, but if you just leave them white, it's kind of boring. So I'm using my BGs just to add a hint of shadow, a hint of color, which intensifies the illusion that they are white if you use blue. I'm using different colors here on the, I don't even know what that is, flower watering can. And I decided to make it look a little rusty. So that is my attempt of, making it look rusty. And then on the turtle, usually I would go for a lot more contrast with a lot darker colors here. But I knew that I would go in with my pencils, and therefore I restrained from doing too much contrast on the turtle itself. I forgot about that when I did the shell. Couldn't help myself. I just had too much fun using my purples here. So I should have left I should have used lighter colors for the Copics because it didn't leave a lot of room to add detail with the pencils. But I was quite happy how it turned out. And here on the grass, I'm also just using just some simple strokes here with different greens just to create the illusion of grass, and that is it. And then coming in with another green color just to blend this out a bit. Fill in the blanks, and that's it. Quite easy to do. Everybody can do this. Now I'm coming back and I'm adding details with my pencils. And I like to sharpen my pencils quite a bit. I'm using a Dahle rotary sharpener. I hope I'm listing this in the video description below if I don't forget. And then I'm using darker colors, especially to add in the shadows. And you can see here that just by adding a tiny little bit of the darker color into the shadow with my very sharp pencils, it brings the images really to life. And I'm using a white pencil here to smooth some of the colors out. But I have a lot more control with the pencils than I have with any other medium, so I really enjoy using those for additional details. I feel it just makes the images much more lively. You absolutely do not have to. I just found that I really like mixing different mediums. And you can see here how fine a line I can draw with those pencils and how nicely the texture from the linen paper comes through. I really like that effect, the additional texture that you have. And then using a white Prismacolor pencil to blend this out. Now I have to put my card together. This is my card base, and I'm adhering a strip of rainbow pattern paper at the bottom here. That is just for some additional contrast and interest. I really like using those strips of paper. Then I'm gluing down my panel. No foam in between or anything, just gluing it down and partially covering up that rainbow paper. And then I'm adding a tiny strip of black glitter paper that I created myself with Elizabeth Crafts glitter. And of course I still had to add the sentiment, and I'm using my Stamp-A-Magic to make sure it's even and not crooked, because, you know, really don't want it crooked after all the work I put into this. And then I'm using my Stardust gel pen to add some glitter to the water can. And I'm also going to add some dots in between the flowers just for some additional interest here. It's very subtle. You can only see it when you tilt it in the light. But I thought it would be a nice effect, a nice little surprise effect when the recipient of the card actually takes a closer look. I like to add those details that, you know, you don't see right away, but then you can discover them. So here's the finished card, my little scene that I created. Quite easy to do with the masking. It's really not complicated at all. Here's a close-up of my little turtle guy, and you can see the beautiful texture of the linen paper. Here's a close-up of the black glitter paper that I created myself and that strip of colored paper. I really find that adding a strip of pattern paper is an easy way of adding a lot of interest and like specialness to a card. It doesn't take much, and you can use a sheet of pattern paper forever for this purpose. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you like this, I do have a few more tutorials for you to check out. One of them is also about masking and creating a scene, and the other one on the right is a really fun Copic coloring tutorial, very easy to do, and you can get a great effect from that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.